Have I got a masterclass for you today? I got my good buddy Eric Brewer, and this is one that I have anxiously looking forward to for a while now, because as you're about to hear, novations and novation agreements, which is essentially a legal wholesale type transaction that allows you to essentially wholesale properties to retail buyers. And you're going to learn much more about that in addition to crazy, awesome, in-depth conversation we have about a variety of things and just so much more from somebody who, just to give you some perspective, Eric and I have been in the business since 2005. Last year, Eric's company did north of 400 transactions, and 150 of those were novation deals that were responsible for over $4 million in profit. Let me repeat that. Over 400 transactions, of which almost half of them were responsible because of novations, which led to over $4 million in profit. So when I tell you, you're going to want to listen to this masterclass from start to finish, I'm going to take it a step further and say you're going to want to listen to it 2 and 3 times. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my good friend, Eric Brewer. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Outside of novations, there's so much more you can take away from this, but I just want you to be an active listener regardless of what you're doing. And I so appreciate you for tuning in to the Flip Empire Show.
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
How do people know if scale is what they should do and scaling responsibly? Talk about that.
2 really good questions. I think the first thing was, we're in the real estate business and there's a couple different aspects to it, but at the end of the day, it's sales and marketing, right? Like the one thing that makes this entire business go is our ability to be able to generate and convert leads. So I think the parallel nature of the auto industry and real estate was a really big factor in our ability to go from newbie to 75 deals in the first year, right? As we generated leads, I knew how to sell. I didn't know anything about houses. So when we got into the business at the time, 70 transactions, that was like a good month in the car business, right? So 70 deals a year for us, we felt like we were drastically underwhelming. And, it was one of the things that we eventually had to unlearn, was that volume is no replacement for quality gross profit, right? And that there's a big difference between a transaction and a healthy transaction. Right? We were doing a lot of deals for the sake of saying that we were doing deals. Some of those back then were large renovations, that we would do $60,000, $70,000 renovations and make a $12,000 profit on a $250,000 house. It was a lot of work for not quite enough profit, right? So we kind of got, the bumps and bruises and punched in the mouth a little bit. Back then you really had to, at least for us, the way that we added value or created equity in a deal was renovation. All 75 of those deals had a rehab associated with them, right? So there was project managers and renovation budgets and everything that comes along with that, which is, to me, it's probably the most difficult part of this business. If you make the decision to get into fix and flip, managing renovations is the biggest opportunity for loss.
Ton of moving parts.
It's hard. It's after 17 years, it's the one thing we still stink at, from a certain perspective. Like, we've gotten a little bit better at not being horrible, but I've never met anybody that is honestly great at that. It's just, new construction's a different beast. Renovating 70 to 100-year-old homes is really, really hard. But that's how we started.
One last thing before you go. If you have been listening to the show for a while or you have been getting value from the show, I would be 100% honored if you would share this show with a friend, or maybe share it with somebody that you think could benefit from this. It's my mission, it's my cause, it's my purpose through Flip Empire to impact and touch people's lives, to help people and in their businesses. So it would be an honor if you would be willing to share this episode. And one last thing, make sure that you're subscribed so that you get notified every Monday and Thursday when shows get released. I look forward to connecting with you on the next one. Until then, have a great day.